With E3 2018 well underway, we go back and take a look at the highlights of each of the major conferences. In this episode we're going to take a look at the Bethesda conference. As with most of their recent conferences, Bethesda had a lineup of all the usual suspects. There were updates to the Elder Scrolls series, Fallout series, and more. Now, one thing Bethesda did that made it stand out a little bit more for me personally was they actually gave a lot of information about the various games and titles they covered. Nonetheless though, we're here to talk about the highlights, so these are the highlights of the Bethesda conference that stood out for me. First was Rage 2. Now Rage 2 had been previously leaked before E3, so we were aware of the game. Nonetheless, they showed off a few trailers, some gameplay, information about the collector's edition, and the overall story of the game. It seems a lot more tongue-in-cheek when compared to the first Rage game. With a release date of spring 2019, this was one of the games that stood out, but I don't know if I will be getting it. Next was Fallout Shelter. Now Fallout Shelter has been out for a while, it's a mobile game that is free to play. However, Bethesda announced that it would be coming to both the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch for free, and it's out tonight. The next highlight was the announcement of Starfield, a new IP. Now, we weren't actually given too much details about this, it did look like a sci-fi based game, but nonetheless, more importantly, it was a new IP. It wasn't part of the Elder Scrolls series or the Fallout series, and that alone got my attention. But unfortunately, like I said, there wasn't much information whatsoever, it was only a small tease, so we're going to have to keep our eyes on this and see how it evolves. The next highlight was another small tease, and this was for the Elder Scrolls 6. There was no subtitle announced to this, so we don't know where it's going to be set. Whether it's going to be the entire Elder Scrolls world, we'll have to wait and see. Nonetheless, it is going to be a single player experience, and during the Bethesda conference they showed off a small tease. Unfortunately, again, it was a tease, not much more information was revealed whatsoever, but it's still good news to hear that they're working on it. The next announcement that I was personally very pleased to hear about was the updates to Prey, namely the Moon Crash DLC. They showed off a trailer, some gameplay, and the Moon Crash DLC is all about getting off the moon but having to contend with randomly generated monsters and so on. This should make it more replayable. On top of that, they also announced that they're adding free updates to the game that include New Game Plus and Survival Mode, as well as an upcoming multiplayer mode that has one player taking on 5 other players who are mimics. On top of that, the update and the DLC is out now, so if you're a fan of the most recent Prey, this was good to hear. The next highlight is a new addition to the Wolfenstein series, Wolfenstein Youngblood. This is a co-op experience that has players assuming the roles of BJ Blazkowicz' daughters. It's set in 1980 in Paris in the Wolfenstein alternative history. Now there was a trailer shown, but this didn't really include any gameplay whatsoever. It's going to be interesting to see how the actual game plays. Nonetheless, they have a vague release date of 2019, so it's something to look forward to. The next major highlight, and for me personally was the announcement I got most excited for, was Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is going to be a sequel to the Doom reboot. It's going to include twice as many demons, and it's going to be set on Earth. Whilst only a short teaser trailer was shown and no real gameplay, Bethesda did say that at QuakeCon in August 2018, a lot more information on the game will be revealed, so this is one to keep your eyes on. A special highlight for the Bethesda conference goes to Skyrim, a very special edition. This was a joke trailer put on by Bethesda, poking fun at themselves. This was an entertaining trailer and very special indeed. And then finally, the major highlight of the Bethesda conference was Fallout 76. Now, Fallout 76 had been revealed before, it was shown off in the Microsoft conference for example, and even announced before E3 altogether. But during the Bethesda conference, Todd Howard went into so much detail about what is going to be included in Fallout 76, and that was commendable. They gave us information regarding the size of Fallout 76, that would be 4 times bigger than Fallout 4, set in West Virginia. They showed off multiple trailers that included gameplay. They talked about the size of the map, that it's going to be 6 regions, and each region is going to have different styles and enemies and so on. But one of the more important announcements of Fallout 76 is that it's going to be an online world. Now you can still play solo, but it looks like they are designing it to have multiple players in the world at once. During the presentation as well of the game were multiple Vault Tech information videos. These cartoons, cut together with gameplay, showed off some of the aspects from PvP content to co-op content, to the building mechanics where you can build anywhere, to the new and interesting, yet slightly mean, gameplay mechanic that has you launching a nuclear weapon. Bethesda obviously want this to work, so they have dedicated servers and they'll have ongoing support. And lastly, they gave us a release date that is sooner than you think. It's going to be released on November the 14th, 2018. That's not that far away, and this has the potential to be a massive game. Let's just hope that Bethesda can fix any bugs prior to launch and that it goes smoothly. As I said, Bethesda had all the usual suspects in their presentation, and there were more games mentioned, but they were all spin-offs of the Elder Scrolls series, or updates on existing games. But what we've gone over in this video were really the best bits that Bethesda brought forward. But anyway, what were your thoughts and highlights of the Bethesda conference? Leave a comment down below. And until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing the highlights from the Bethesda conference in E3 2018. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.